Yeah, good day everyone. My name is Mr. Adeyela Peter. As you can see on the board, this is logical reasoning. Logical reasoning. Okay, how do we solve questions on logical reasoning? The first thing you need to know is the symbols in logic or symbols in logical reasoning. We have about 6 symbols in logical reasoning, as you can see on the board. The first one is union. Some people call it V. It has a V shape. As you can see, the first one is union. So when you see a symbol that looks like V, it's called union. Or the second one is and, which has like an hyphen or a V bent downward. So we call it and, or you can also call it intersection. You know, in your set, if you remember your set very well, you will remember that this is a sign for intersection. So you can use it for logic too. And we have an arrow that is pointing towards the right, which is the third one. It can be an arrow and it can be 2 arrows, but pointing towards the right. That is the third symbol now. And it is denoted as implies. Implies, that is the third symbol. Implies, or you can call it implication, or you can also call it conditional. And it is denoted by if then, if then, if then. And the fourth one is there on the board. That is the symbol, and it is implies by, and you see implication by. You know, the third one is implication or implies, but if you see the fourth one, look at where the arrow is pointing at. It's pointing towards the left hand side, so you can call it implies by, or you call it implication by. Okay, let's move to the fifth. The fifth is an arrow that is pointing towards the left and the right. We call it biconditional. 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 And you can also call it if and only if. It means there are some statements that will be given. When you see if and only if, then you should know that that is a biconditional statement, and that is the symbol. And the last one is negation. Negation, if you can see the sign is like a minus that is curved, and you can also see it as a minus. So anytime you see a minus or a minus that is curved, know that that is negation. Negation is like when you are saying negative. Negation. So I want you to take your time very well and check this board very well, or you check this image very well. Logical reasoning. Logical reasoning. And the symbols are there. So you take your time and you study the symbols before we start the class. All right. Check these few examples. Check these few examples. Example A says, Ado-Ekiti is a capital of Ekiti State. Then, in logical reasoning, it is a fact that Ado-Ekiti is the capital of Ekiti State. So, it is a statement. Now, let's move to the next one. The next one says, physics is a science subject. It's also a fact and is a statement. See, what a lovely day. What a lovely day. it is not a statement. Why is it not a statement? Then there are rules in logical reasoning. One of the rules says an exclamation mark or an exclamation. You know, definitely an exclamation must have an exclamation mark. If you check that, see, you will see what a lovely day. It has an exclamation mark. So anything exclamation is not a statement. If you move to the D part, which says stop talking. Stop talking is more of a command. So, and in logical reasoning, a command is not a statement. So, stop talking is not a statement. He says, where does he come from? Is a question. And a question is not a statement. Can you see? In logical reasoning, a question is not a statement. Yeah, as you can see, a question is not a statement. A question is not a statement in logical reasoning. All right, let's move to F. If I see him, then what would you have done or what would you do? If I see him is not a statement in logical reasoning. If I see him is not a statement. Let's move to the G part. 2 times 8 equals to 16. Then it is true that 2 times 8 equals to 16. Then it is a statement. It is a statement. H says 7 plus 8. Though 7 plus 8 cannot give you 18. But here it is saying 7 plus 8 equals to 18. It is false statement, but it is also a statement. It is false, but it is also a statement. I says 3x plus 2 is less than 8. 3x plus 2 is less than 8 is not a statement. There's no facts in that. It's not a statement. All right, please, I want you to follow me very carefully. Then you will understand better what all this means. You will understand better what they mean or how do they arrive at being a statement and not being a statement. But then I want you to know a few points that anything exclamation is not a statement. Command is not a statement. Question is not a statement. And if you have facts, if you have a known fact, they are statements. And some facts that cannot be established, they are not a statement. Please follow me. Follow me. Thank you.